Hey you guys, welcome back. I got so wrapped up with the Tower of Pwnage, I've been letting these scrolls grow for a while, so we've got plenty of scrolls to go through quite a few of these honor summons rolls. Let's go ahead and get into those. Probably the number one character I want to get to 6-star right now is Black Diamond. If we look on this hero drop, I've got her at 5-star right now. And out of this group, I'd say maybe Pontifex as well, if I could bring him up to the 6-star. Both of them are at 5-star right now. So we'll be working on that. After that, I might start diverting some of these to the honor shop. There's some things in there to buy once in a while. But without too much more, let's get started. Start with a gold chest. Get a few more of these, and a nice celestial. With the changes recently, it's really hard to emphasize how much better it is now in order to, I guess, being able to get a hold of the celestials you're looking for. A lot of those can be combined just from monarch type, and you can build those up even from the smallest evos. So really a nice benefit there in case you get stuck trying to farm over and over again for one of the celestial evos. Hopefully we'll get some more of those. With the new characters, I have a fair need for more of the Celestial Evos still. I was able to bring Augustus, the new character, up to the 1st Ascension. So he's got one more to go. Getting some more for Pontifex here. As always, what we're really looking for are those white letters. There we go. That's, you see, just bringing it on. Pontifex, 35 hero tokens. That's what we need, try to bring him up. I've got a long ways to go for him, but a couple more like that could get us a lot closer. Ignus. It's good to get him out of the way. I don't know why they haven't done anything with this character. He's in the heroic summon. He's, supposed to be a pretty strong character. He comes out as a 3-star, I believe, and he's just so easy to kill. It seems like they would do something to make him a little closer to legendary characters. And Squinch, working on him, he's armored, and is another great addition. One of the things I've been doing, I want to mention quickly here, with the Tower of Pwnage, I'll have to probably talk about this again later on, but I end up, sacrificing a couple of characters early on to wipe out some of the early skills on each one of the floors, and then I usually go in for the early ones with an all-undead team, and then I'm trying to get an all-goblin team, teams that have got high passive buffs that I can put in together. Between Cruel King Bramble and Chief NubNub, you get some pretty strong buffs for all goblin characters. And similarly, you get some really strong ones by combining Pontifex with Lord Zom. You have some really strong ones for an undead team. So those are usually the teams that I use to clear out most of the middle section of the tower. On the last stage, or the second to last stage that has characters, right before you get to the boss, I usually use something like an all-fast team to try to wear down or completely kill off everybody that's left there. Makes it a little bit easier. Nice. Another Celestial there. So that's more or less my strategy going through. It's worked pretty well. As long as you take out those early skills, then those heavily passively buffed teams work really well and can be used for a couple floors each. Sometimes as many as 4 or 5 floors. That undead team can be pretty hard to take out. And they've got some healing of their own as well. Nice. Samurai Takumi. It does seem strange, I always talk about this when we get to these longer hero roll videos, but the characters that you can unlock and start out as 3-star seem to give you 25 tokens. The ones that you unlock and they start out as 1-star seem to give you 10 tokens. It's kind of the reverse of what you'd expect, based on rarity. You'd think it'd be harder to get tokens for the more rare characters, and then Pontifex is labeled as a legendary character, but you can get tokens for him in here, and he gives a full 35. That always kind of confuses me. I'm not sure why they did it that way, but I don't want to complain because these lower characters aren't my favorite anyway. So we'll just keep them coming. And you can farm those in the other levels, so that makes it a little easier. We're about halfway through now. We've already gotten quite a few tokens. No one pushed over. That was one that I needed for the last Ascension. I'm going to need 8 of those, actually, for the last Ascension for Augustus. So we've got a ways to go. I mentioned before there are some Celestials you can get just by combining the Monarch Evos. And that's really nice. Unfortunately, I think if I did that for very many, it would eat up all of my Monarch Evos generally. And it'd be a little hard to replace them. They'd end up being the limiting factor for me, so I'm holding off on some of that. Nice Dagrund. It's a lot of these just made it to 5-star. And so I'm just starting my way towards the 250 needed for 6-star for many of them. Another one for Samurai Takumi. I do like those large chunks. It's really what stopped me so far from using these in the Honor shop. Even if you only get the white letter, big chunks of tokens, a few times on one of these roll series, they still represent a whole lot of tokens. Yeah, we've gotten 75 tokens for Samurai Takumi already. It's just hard to compete with that for any of the things they're offering there in the shop. And especially with the new tower, having your other characters fully leveled and at higher star levels really helps out for getting through that tower. Since the tower started, since the not an event, it should be just a continuous part of the game at this point. But since that started, the first day I only made it part way up, and then I think some of the collective knowledge that was brought in through the comments and going through that trouble myself gave me enough information that now every day since that time I've been able to get a full complete, which is really doing wonders for the stock of gems that I've got here. I haven't made any additional purchases, I'm just bringing them in really quickly with the 300 a day. And on top of that, any normal quests. So that really helps out. There's a couple things you can do to make it a little easier on yourself to bring in extra energy. Maybe we can talk about those at the end of this video. I'll probably make another one just to point them out specifically. Some people really like the hero roll videos, others I think aren't liking it so much, so I thought I'd put them out there, but I'll probably separate some of this stuff off as well. There's a nice combo you can do, since we're bringing so many gems in, and then also using some of the Pwnage points and things to give yourself a lot of energy. And it's fairly sustainable since you get so much of this currency if you're able to take out the tower each day. Alright, not as many for Black Diamond as I would have liked, but not bad overall. We got a lot of stuff. Got some more Celestial Evos, and a whole bunch for Samurai Takumi, and quite a few for Pontifex, so doesn't hurt there. Let's look at the events real quick. There's some stuff going on. So the Rogues Gallery, right now I do suggest going in. You get really good rewards. A couple of things. One, I've had some people ask how I'm able to accumulate gold so quickly, and I responded in the comments, but I want to share it here as well. One of the big things is just to take advantage of events, as there's events running probably at least half of the time. The Dungeon Boss developers do a great job of keeping everything new and fresh, and so running those, they usually give like twice as much gold as you can get in some of the highest dungeons. So in terms of efficiency of getting gold from the energy that you use, they're very good sources right there. As well, I mentioned, I think, to someone else, if you run the Gold Island each day, you can get, at the highest level, somewhere between 100,000 and about 330,000 gold every day. So that really adds up quickly as well. If we take a look at this, I can show the team I'm currently using. So I've run the lowest level a lot. I've 3-starred all 3 of them. But on the lowest level, I can basically just auto-attack, and that makes it a lot easier. With the addition of the tower, you really could put a lot of time into this game, and if you're trying to limit that, then some of the quick looting, which we've talked about pros and cons before, but also just being able to auto-run some of the dungeons can be really helpful. So I've been using this group. Unless you run into Masuta Kira, then you do all right. It's nice they did some buffing to King Yorick, and having his Marked for Death skill can help finish off some of the really high attack rogues that you, kind of the rogue bosses you see partway through. You do have to watch out if Masuta Kira is there with Pwn undead. You can finish him off really quickly. But otherwise, it's a relatively tanky group with a couple of defense buffs, and Chief NubNub at 6-star can bring on really good heals and bring the whole group back quickly. I would even swap out to do all 3 potions as energy potions. Sometimes I just keep, this is usually what I keep around anyway, but if you're trying to 3-star, that revive's not going to help you so much, especially when you get up to the Den of Knaves here. You're going to want the energy to make sure you can do a heal right away. You don't want to have to wait. It might finish off your team. So not too much to say there. Like I said, once you, hopefully you can auto-run or very close to that the very first level. It'll take a little more effort to go through the other ones. But as you do it, you can collect for those quests, and you can get tokens for Masuta Kira. So during this event, I was able to get him up to the 4-star level. It's very unlikely I'd be able to get him to 5-star, but I do like to try to get as many of these as possible, and I'll probably get as much energy as I can, and I'll talk about that here in just a moment, so that I can keep running these. And even the auto looting, the quick loot, will get you completions. So just completing these, you can complete them on the different levels. Here, Rogue's Gallery is almost finished. There's only 5 of 5 quests right here, but for the higher levels, look at these real quick as we scan down. Here we go. The Usual Suspects and Den of Knaves both have higher completions. You know, you can complete the quest more times, which means you're going to be able to get more tokens out of that. So even things like purchasing energy, either through in-game currency or purchasing with real money, you can then get a whole bunch of these Masuta Kira tokens. And he can be a really, really powerful, fast AoE character. There's only 2 of those right now, so it's nice to have him up at a higher star level. Let's take a look back in the Tower of Pwnage real quick at the Pwn Shop. I haven't run it yet for today. If you look over here, I did already purchase the 50 stamina. It seems like a fairly efficient purchase as well. Some of these others, you're going to get a few tokens at a time, and they can cost a fair amount. I might end up doing that as I continue to stack up more and more of these trophies. But another thing you can do, you go back out, at least I haven't tried this yet, but I have talked to some of the people that have done it. You can come over and refresh the stock. I believe it would be right here. Again, I haven't tried this just yet, but I'll probably be trying it later on. Maybe I can report on it at the time. I did hear other people talk about in the comments refreshing that so you can get a second shot at the energy here. So for only 20 gems, and again, if you're running this every day and getting 300 gems just from doing the tower, then 20 gems is a very small price. You could potentially get 100 extra stamina each day, which is quite a bit, again, for not, something you can continually keep up and get a whole lot more tokens, especially when events are going on. So that's all I've got for now. I hope this was useful, and to see all those hero rolls as well. Thanks again for watching. We'll see everyone soon.